If you know my work, or if you just watch my videos on this YouTube channel, you know how much stress I put on the importance of a healthy diet. Healthy food choices are so important for your health, your well-being, and your resilience, your ability to manage stress effectively. But for some people, especially if you haven't paid much attention to your dietary choices, it may be difficult or confusing to figure out what exactly it is that you should be doing. So in this video today, I will give you some simple pointers that will help you to get started and get you moving in the right direction. So let's start with drinks, things that we drink. Ideally, we should not devote too many calories to our drinks, meaning that we shouldn't be drinking things that are high in calories, high in sugar, high in whatever else that makes them to be high in calories. So rather than having a soda, even if it's a diet sodas are an issue all of their own. So rather than having a soda, why not have black coffee, black iced coffee, or an unsweetened tea or iced tea, or something like water. You can have mineral water, water that is a fizzy water, or water that's a still water, or just plain bottled water, spring water. It may take some getting used to, especially if you're accustomed to drinking your calories and having your drinks sweet, but in the end, it's really not a very good trade-off to fill your body with essentially empty calories and sugar for not even a meal. It's not even a meal, it's just a drink. Now, you may be thinking, what about things such as juices or smoothies? We have to be careful with that, because if you think about juices are okay, but you have to be mindful with fruit juices or juices that are made of fruit only, because those can be high in sugar and lack the fiber that will offset some of that sweetness. So while fruit is a natural way of getting some sweetness, getting some sugar, it's nature's candy, and it's very healthy in many ways. When we strip that fruit of its flesh and its fiber, we are essentially refining the sugar in that fruit to have nothing to counterbalance it. So while sugary drinks are definite no-no, juices are okay as long as they're balanced out and they're not the only thing you're drinking. And when you think about juices, think about combination juices of fruits and vegetables. That's number one. And number two, think fresh. If you're going to reach out for a fruit juice that's been sitting on a grocery shelf that has preservatives in it, you're better off just skipping that. You're better off just having some water or some seltzer water or mineral water, whatever, tea, coffee, something that's just unsweetened altogether. If you're going to look into having juices, consider investing in a juicer and make your juices fresh and drink them right there and then. And when it comes to smoothies, it's a similar situation. You can make your smoothies very unhealthy very quickly, because you can just pile in there all kinds of things that add sugar and fat on top of that. And by the time all is said and done, this supposedly healthy smoothie turns into a caloric nightmare that maybe is as many calories as a meal potentially. So be careful with that, because you know, if it equals drinking a milkshake, what's the point really? You're sabotaging yourself, because at that point you're lying to yourself saying, oh, I'm doing something healthy, I'm drinking a smoothie, but the smoothie is just a bomb of calories and fat and who knows what else, sugar, what else that may be in there. So make sure that you're making smoothies and juices healthy when you're opting for those, because they are intended to be healthy. They're not intended to be a disaster in disguise, which is what often happens. So first things first, start with your beverages. Don't let your choices of beverage eliminate a healthy diet just by those very choices. Don't let it undermine your efforts for a healthy diet. So be mindful with your choices of what you're drinking. Snacks are another potential downfall when it comes to healthy eating, and by their very nature, or by that very nature, they can also be easily fixed. So our stores, whether it's the grocery stores or convenience stores or anywhere you go that some kind of food is sold, you can get a snack. And a lot of these snacks are highly processed, packaged things. If you look at the ingredients list, it's longer than a dissertation, and most of the ingredients you don't know how to pronounce, and if you manage to pronounce them, you probably don't know what half of them are, and you have to look them up. If that's the case, that's not the snack for you. That's not a healthy snack. Get rid of that. Don't even go there. Don't even make that an option. Instead, choose things such as nuts and seeds and fruit and veggies, cut up veggies as snacks, depending of if you are looking for something crunchy or sweet. You can mix and match. You can have some nuts on your plate, maybe some cut up fruit, some cut up veggies. Make that into your snack. And again, while you may take some time to get used to that kind of snacking, that's okay. Anything worthwhile, anything worth making a change is worth the effort. And believe me, having a healthy eating habit is worth its weight in gold and then some, because our dietary choices affect so many things when it comes to our health and well-being, and consequently our ability to effectively manage stress, that we don't even realize it, because we are constantly bombarded with advertisements for unhealthy processed foods. I heard someone say recently what I thought was absolutely brilliant. He said, there is no junk food. There is food, and then there's junk. And if it's junk, we shouldn't eat it because it's not real food. And so that's what I'm talking about. Avoid all of that junk that is sold and marketed to us as snacks. And oftentimes they're marketed and sold to us as healthy snacks, but they are anything but. So instead, aim for whole foods for your snacking. So again, nuts, seeds, fresh fruits, fresh vegetables. You don't have to go crazy. It's just a snack. So keep it simple and keep it healthy. The last thing that is a good starting point that I will mention in this video is looking at how processed your food is. So specifically, if you look at something like meats, if you eat animal products, if you eat meat or fish, poultry, things like that, make sure you're paying attention to how processed that food is. So for example, if you look at a hot dog versus a piece of steak or a chicken breast, think about how processed that hot dog is and what in the world is in there in terms of ingredients, preservatives, additives, who knows what else, versus just a piece of meat that you can then prepare yourself. And ideally, go for things that are organic, animals that were raised and fed organic, grass-fed or free-range type of meat selections over things that were grain-fed and pumped full of hormones. So you may have to pay more attention. You will have to pay more attention in the grocery store, and then what you're preparing for your meals and snacks and what you're putting in your body. But guess what? That's your responsibility. And before you scoff at that, be glad that you have the ability to make those decisions, because imagine the misery if you never had an option to make a healthier choice for yourself. If you were fed nothing but garbage, nothing but poor excuses for food, and you didn't have an option to choose something better, something healthier. So be glad to have that choice and take on the responsibility joyously, because imagine the alternative if you didn't have that responsibility. So those are just some very simple suggestions, 3 things to start with. You can start with 1, 2, or all 3. Ease your way into it. If you're new at this and this healthy eating is still a mystery to you, start with beverages. Get rid of the sodas. Diet sodas are as bad as regular sodas for all kinds of different reasons. Don't drink your calories, eat your calories. Be careful about juices, be careful about smoothies, because although they're healthy alternatives, they can quickly turn into dietary disasters. So pay attention to that. And pay attention to your snacks. Forgo the processed stuff and go for simple whole food snacking. And then when it comes to something like meat products, if you do eat animal products, pay attention to what it is that you're eating, choosing a hot dog versus a piece of steak or a piece of chicken or a piece of fish that you prepare, that has nothing else added to it except for what you choose to add to it. That's the key there. And aim for things that are organic, grass-fed, free-range, that type of thing, because those are higher quality in terms of nutrition, good for you types of foods, as opposed to things that come with their own baggage and problems. So those are very simple suggestions. It's a good place to start, but remember, anything worth doing is worth doing well, and you are worth it. If you are serious at all about your health and well-being, you have to pay attention to your diet. And if you're watching this and you're interested in stress management, I assume it's because you want to be healthy. You don't want stress to make you sick or even kill you. So make sure you're paying attention to your diet, because that's a very, very big part of being healthy, strong, and resilient to stress. If you would like to find out more about a comprehensive approach to stress management, check out the link below.